Hello, my name is Jon Sermon, and I'm a church leader in Suffolk. And as some of you already know from watching my previous uh, videos in this COVID-19 lockdown, I'm offering you encouragement through these difficult times. You may have also picked up that I'm also the chair of trustees of a small UK-based charity. Our name is Romans 111 Trust, and our role is mutual encouragement between the UK and Africa. In particular, we have strong links with Uganda, where I would have been due to travel along with another trustee and at least one visitor in August. The situation with coronavirus COVID-19 has resulted in the plan having to be shelved, and alongside it our desire to bring two Ugandan pastors to share with the church in the UK in September. Pray that we'll be able to come back to both these plans at a later date. In the meantime, today I wanted to mention that I have had an email message from one of my dear friends in Uganda, a pastor whose name is Samuel, with a heartfelt summary of both the awfulness and the signs of hope in their lockdown. Uganda's situation is similar to our own in that they can't gather in the churches, the schools are closed, and Samuel runs a church school, one of the top primary schools in his part of the country, and of course they're unable to function normally. But the sponsorship schemes that enable us to help fund some of the children are still just as important, as their needs are being met in other ways, usually back in their village homes with their families. And some who are orphans are still being held in the schools because they've nowhere else to go. And Samuel was mentioning with great relief that as yet the coronavirus has not led to any known deaths in Uganda. Quite a contrast to the tens of thousands we already know about here in the UK. Yet at the same time, they are very fearful, particularly in his part of the country, which is right near the Tanzania border. They know that there are people crossing that border illegally all the time, and history gives them a natural fear because the worst of AIDS in Uganda came across that border, and Rakai district, where Samuel is based, was the worst affected district in the whole country. So they've had a track record of a virus type infection coming through a porous border from the neighbouring country. And alongside that, their medical facilities are very limited and very stretched. And there's no national health service, there's no social security, there's no backup for people, there's no income protection schemes as jobs are on the line, and indeed a huge proportion of people of working age have no employment but do as whatever they can in the way of some self-employed scratching together a living. And also the families often live together in multi-generational families in tiny spaces right on top of one another, and the culture is one of outdoor life. So if they had to face the sort of social distancing and self-isolating that many of us have been going through, they're simply not geared up for it. And alongside this came a request that we here in the UK pray for them in Uganda. And indeed, it's the same in many African countries and other countries. And what about, for example, those in refugee camps who can't even get sanitation in some cases? You know, although our circumstances are very hard, and I do feel for those who are going through financial uncertainty, and many kinds of difficulties, let alone the health difficulties, the worry, perhaps for elderly parents in some cases. I feel a oneness with you in praying for you all, but I'm also aware that compared to some across the world, our situation is a lot easier than theirs. And my prayer is also that the world comes together more in the aftermath of this. That we recognise our interconnectedness, our need of one another. Mutual encouragement between the UK and Africa could become a small section of a much bigger international mutual encouragement. And I'm sure that God would want to draw us together and draw us all to his Son Jesus Christ and to know him and know the assurance of his presence. Because we are going through tough times. It is a storm, and tomorrow I'm going to concentrate on lament. But Jesus will guide us through the storm if we invite him to. God bless you.